Hi guys, looking forward to Thursday in class because we're going to be doing this awesome activity where we analyze different primary source documents and campaign history and try to apply a little bit of your reading. So you'll notice that I have assigned you to be able to read section 5 from the Government Alive text so that you're ready to go on Thursday. But I want to point out a couple things as you guys are reading through. First of all, when you're reading this section, not only want you to pay close attention, obviously, to the text, but particularly the infographics that are here. So, for example, this infographic that you're going to be looking at talks about common persuasive techniques used in political advertising. And of course, one of the things that you're going to read is about 80% of a campaign's treasure chest is spent on paid advertisements. And there's all kinds of different ads that they usually put together. And so very quickly, I want to shoot through these, but I want you to really focus in on them because your entrance slip to class on Thursday is going to deal with this and a commercial that you're going to be viewing from the Living Room Candidate. So there is different types of ads, and one of them is name calling. It happens a lot in campaigns. You can see an example of that right here with an LBJ ad from 1964. We have LBJ, Hubert Humphrey, who was the vice presidential candidate, and then Robert Kennedy, who was former attorney general, now running for senator in New York. And of course, they're doing some name calling down here. Goldwater is the Republican nominee that year in 1964. And what do they call him? Right-wing extremists. So we've got a little bit of name calling that goes on with some ads. You'll also see some ads, and this is an older one. This is from 1904, that deal with transfer. What transfer really focuses in on is the ability to use symbols and transfer that to the candidate. So here we have an ad that was used for Roosevelt and his vice presidential candidate, Charles Fairbanks. And the transfer that occurs between these two is look at the symbols that are in the background here. We have, of course, the eagle and a lot of red, white, and blue going on. And notice here in the background something that was still relatively new at that time, and that was the Washington Monument. So several symbols of patriotism going on there. There's another infographic as you read further on down that shows other different types of persuasive techniques. Here's one that's the testimonial. In other words, let's go get some famous people to back up the candidate. And this one from 1928 deals with Al Smith, who was a candidate for president. And my favorite person that's listed on here is Babe Ruth. So lots of different people. And this one over here, I think it's Knute Rockne, right up here, famous coach of the Notre Dame Fighting Irish football team. So transfer happens all the time. Can you think of some modern ads, say within the past couple of years, that use transfer? Bandwagoning, the ability to show people in everyday life around the candidate. Here's McGovern, 1972. And this kind of gives the impression that, hey, everybody's going to go out and support McGovern. So some of the ads that are used, both in print and in video format, would use this bandwagon idea. Some other popular ones that are out there is the idea of plain folks. This one right here from 1872 shows that these two candidates right here are the everyday candidate. They're the everyday man. Look, I mean, here Ulysses S. Grant, of course, former general and former civilian businessman, is in a tanner's apron, showing that he's just like the blue collar worker. And of course, his vice presidential candidate Henry Wilson is dressed just the same. And to go a little step further, he's got a hammer in his hand. There's card stacking. The idea that you present facts, certain statistics and things like that, which really help to go in your favor. So this one right here is from 1988, and this particular ad helps to be able to show a little bit about an issue which was important, at least from the Republican side of things, about Governor Dukakis, who was the Democratic nominee, using prison furloughs. And of course, it also embeds a little bit of transfer from the standpoint of the monopoly card. So it's using some statistics, sliding them in favor of the Republican view of that particular issue, and that's called card stacking, and campaigns use that. The last one that you'll see on here is called glittering generalities. And the idea is it uses really vague statements, statements that really could mean anything. Let's clean house with Ike and Dick. And this one from 1952. And the idea there is that, you know, if you elect these two, that you will sweep away all the dirt and grime that exists in D.C. So there's some really important details that you'll read here in the text. You'll note the important government terms that I really want you to focus in on, but also let's focus in on those infographics. Now, I'm going to be sending you a link to a couple of videos from the Living Room Candidate. You're going to watch these commercials, and your entrance slip to class tomorrow is going to be to use these categories right here and try to figure out which of these persuasive techniques was used in those commercials. And it doesn't have to be technique. It can be several of them at the same time, because that will occur. And then on Thursday in class, we're going to do a really neat activity where we'll see a lot more of these primary sources, and we'll try to practice that skill of pointing out the persuasive techniques. And then you're going to make your own commercial for a fictional presidential candidate in a small group. And I think that'll be a lot of fun. So go ahead, read the text, look at the infographics, watch those videos, and then come ready with your entrance slip to class regarding which persuasive techniques that you see. Have a great day, guys.